How can HR help the business identify and then prioritize the critical skills it needs for the future?
Well, I think, David, we covered a little bit of that. I think you need HR leaders that are really in tune with the business. And I think they have to be really, really close to the markets that they're operating in. And for me, I mean, you heard a little bit about my background. I always grew up in these consumer-facing organizations where, HR was always about being a catalyst to drive the business. If you weren't doing that, you were, overhead that could be redeployed somewhere else. Frankly. So I do think that is probably the biggest key, having HR professionals who are really, really wired to what's happening in local markets and anticipating what's happening. So what is the war for talent in those geographies? What is the going practice of what certain skills are worth? Knowing and anticipating the capabilities that are going to be required and starting to invest earlier in them. Thinking about whether you want to buy or build those capabilities, and depending on where you sit in your market and how much you're willing to invest or how big of a priority those are, thinking through that model. And it's probably a combination of both. Some you probably invest in and you start bringing in earlier on and building capabilities that are bespoke to you. Like I was mentioning, our GM Academy would be an example of that. And others where you might not have the luxury of time, where you're going to have to look in the mirror and sometimes help our business partners see that we're behind the curve and we need to catch up, right? And that there's things that are moving fast based on what we're seeing in local markets that we have to be able to adjust and get after.
In this series, we will be speaking to a range of senior leaders who are pushing a data-driven and digital HR agenda. Make sure that you subscribe via your podcast app of choice and also via our YouTube channel for free and regular interviews with the digital HR leaders of the future.